Namaskar. I am Dr. Aarti Chaudhary, Assistant Professor in the Department of Ancient Indian History, Culture and Archaeology at Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Banaras Hindu University. I welcome you once again in this topic, which is History of Science and Technology in Ancient India from Harappan civilization to 7th century CE. This course is a 12-week module course, and today we are going to discuss module 10 and lecture 5. The title of module 10 is Origin and Development of Chemical Sciences, and the title of lecture 5 is Laboratories and Apparatus. First, the learning objectives of this particular lecture. Then the first learning objective is to know the structure and setup of alchemical laboratories, rasashala. Second learning objective is to understand the concept of rasalinga, and the third learning objective is to discuss about the yantra mentioned in the text related to alchemy. So, in this particular lecture we are going to discuss about the laboratory, the rasalinga, crucible, various types of yantra and additional laboratory apparatus. Ancient Indian chemistry, known as Rasa Shastra, was a well developed science focused on metallurgy, medicine and alchemy. Classical texts like Rasaratnakar, Rasaranav and Rasendra Chintamani provide detailed account of laboratory setups, rasashala and sophisticated chemical apparatus. These include crucibles, musha, distillation vessels, patanyantra, sublimation tool, udharva patanyantra, furnaces, kosti and filtration device often made from clay, stone and metal. These laboratories were not only center of experimentation but also followed specific protocols regarding cleanliness, safety and ritual practices. The precise design and use of apparatus highlights the advanced understanding of chemical process in ancient India, contributing significantly to early developments in medicinal and inorganic chemistry. The laboratory, the information regarding laboratory. Till now, we have discussed about the different concept regarding the chemical sciences which is used in Rasratna Samuchaya and the chemical sciences which is present in Charak Samhita, Susrut Samhita and Ashtanga Sangra. And now we are moving to discuss about the laboratory setup, what kind of equipment was necessary at that time for these to perform the chemical process in this particular laboratory, the complete setup of the laboratory, the management of the laboratory and the different yantra which is very necessary for the laboratory work. Chemical knowledge was not open to all, only those who were properly initiated, honest, self-controlled and sincere were allowed to practice. The teaching were guarded by secrecy passed down through authorized teachers. It was believed that disclosing these secrets to the uninitiated would diminish the efficiency of the science. Structure and setup of alchemical laboratories, rasashala. Location and structure. Proximity to medicinal herb. The laboratory is strategically located in the area which is medicinal plant, rich in medicinal plant, ensuring convenient access to essential raw materials required for alchemical process. Spacious design. The laboratory is designed to provide ample space to accommodate the various apparatus and process necessary for the alchemical work. Four doors. The presence of four doors may serve practical purpose such as ventilation, ease to movement and safety. Additionally, the arrangement could hold symbolic significance aligning with astrological or elemental principles. Decorative divine portraits. The laboratory is adorned with portraits of divine being, a common feature in sacred science invoking divine protection, blessing and diffusion of spiritual energy to aid the alchemical operations. Laboratories shall be equipped with a wide variety of specialized apparatus, each designed for specific chemical operations. Strategic organization of the laboratory, like east, installation of the symbolic rasalinga, phallus of Mercury; southeast, heating operation and furnaces; southwest, placement of instruments and tools; west, washing operation; northwest, drying procedures. So, the particular organization of the laboratory, the direction wise setup of the particular laboratory just shows their knowledge regarding the Vastu Shastra as well as the whole setup as the very much familiar for the workers who are working there, and the setup required such kind of specific direction wise setup, and it was also known by the that time of alchemist, and they organize all this setup on the basis of the particular direction. The rasalinga. The Rasashala, the house of Mercury and other ras, was a place where devotees were engaged in a range of alchemical practice. These operations were conducted under the influence of the rasalinga, a symbol of esoteric potentiality. The rasaling is either a gold amalgam, alloy of gold and mercury, which was made by combining 3 parts of gold and 9 parts of mercury, or it is made by combining mercury and sulfur and shaping it into the form of a ling, representing the union of male and female divine principles. The preparation of this type of rasaling is mentioned in a tantric text named Matrika Bhedantaram. Here Mercury is described as Shiva seeds, bij, while sulfur represents Devi's principle Swapuspa, indicating that rasaling should be prepared with these two constituents. Process of preparing the rasaling. Step 1. Mercury is mixed with the extract of Jhinti, Barbaria cristata. Step 2. The mixture is stirred thoroughly until it forms a dense mud like consistency. After that, this mixture is then shaped carefully into the form of a ling. The formed ling is coated with sulfur powder, symbolizing the female principle. The coated ling is gently heated over a charcoal or cow dung fire. Next is the process of coating and heating is repeated several times. With each cycle, the ling undergoes refinement until it solidifies and becomes hard, making the completion of the alchemical transformation, which now becomes rasalinga. Now the crucible. Crucibles are very important in metallurgy. So, the what kind of material is suitable for the crucible, and what was the shape of the different crucible is very important in terms to understand the proper metallurgical aspect in any time period. So, the information regarding the crucible. The practitioners of Rasashastra, for instance Rasavadins, employed a variety of specialized instruments known as yantra for conducting chemical and metallurgical process. Among the most essential of these was the Musa yantra or crucible, which served as a vessel for heating, melting and processing various minerals and compounds. These crucibles were predominantly made of earthen materials and crafted with careful attention of their intended purpose. This is the picture of crucible. Composition and preparation of crucibles, Musa yantra. The preparation of crucible involved combining a unique mix of organic and inorganic materials to achieve the desired durability and heat resistance. The key ingredients include earth from an ant hill believed to have special thermal properties, rice husk provides insulation and structure, iron rust, chalk and human hair all contribute to the chemical and physical integrity of the crucible. These materials were mixed and ground thoroughly with goat milk, which acted as a binding agent, creating a dough-like mass. The dough was then shaped into specific crucible shape and left to sun dry, ensuring they hardened naturally and were ready for high temperature use. Different shapes of crucible. Different types of crucible were designed for different alchemical tasks, each with a unique shape and function. The brinjal shaped crucible Solanum melongena with a tubular extension that expands at the mouth like a flower was specifically used for the extraction of zinc from calamine. The Gostani Musa, shaped like the udder of a cow, was utilized in process requiring the liquefaction of substance. The Pakka Musa, a pot-like crucible, was employed in roasting operation involving minerals or metal ores. The Musa yantra for heating mercury and sulfur. A particular elaborate method involving mercury and sulfur is described in the alchemical text Rasarana, highlighting the sophistication of Rasasastra technique. The apparatus consists of two crucibles, each measuring approximately 12 digit angul in length. The first crucible with a narrow orifice is filled with sulfur, while the second crucible holds mercury. Mercury and sulfur both are to be moistened with filtered garlic juice, which may here serve both as a catalyst and a purifier in the process. Then the crucible containing sulfur is placed inside the one containing mercury. This combined setup is then carefully placed into an earthen pot. Another earthen pot is placed upside down over it and the edges are sealed with cloths. The entire apparatus is heated from the outside using a cow dung fire for 3 days. Now, after the discussion of the crucible, the shape, design and the purpose and how the crucible made this information, now moving towards the different kinds of yantra which is present in the alchemist text. Musa yantra, Kosti yantra, Dola yantra, Swedani yantra, Patan yantra, Deepika yantra, Dheki yantra, Jaran yantra, Garbha yantra, Hansapaka yantra, Kachap yantra, Vidyadhar yantra, Somanala yantra, Valuka yantra, Lavana yantra, नालिका यंत्र, भूधरा यंत्र, पूता यंत्र, पालिका यंत्र, गाजा यंत्र, इस्तिका यंत्र, हिंगुला क्रिस्ती यंत्र, दामारोख्या यंत्र, नाभि यंत्र, ग्रास्त यंत्र, स्थली यंत्र, धूप यंत्र, कंदुका यंत्र and khalva yantra. So, these are the few of the yantra which I mentioned in this slide. Now, few of them is deeply studied because they are very important. First is Koshthi yantra. Dimensions, width is present here. Two vessels, larger and smaller, rim on two sides. This the particular shape of that particular yantra. The large vessel is filled with sworn mercury. This vessel is heated externally using sargural. A fire fluid by cow dung is applied from below to maintain the required temperature. They are mainly used for extracting minerals. This is the picture of Koshthi yantra. Now, next is Dola yantra. The substance is wrapped in a piece of cloth and tied securely. It is suspended from a rod placed across the mouth of a pot. The pot is half filled with the desired liquid. The wrapped substance remains immersed in the liquid. The liquid is heated externally. This is a picture. Now, Swaidani yantra, mainly used for steaming. A pot is partially filled with water. The mouth of the pot is covered with a piece of cloth. The substance to be steamed is placed on top of the cloth. Another pot is placed upside down over the first, covering the substance. The water in the lower pot is heated to produce steam. The steam rises and treats the substance placed on the cloth. Patan yantra, used for processing of sublimation or distillation, consists of a well baked pot of a suitable size. Water is filled in the lower pot up to its neck. A larger pot is placed inverted over the lower pot. The junction between the two pot neck is sealed using a dough made of lime. The inner bottom of the upper pot is smeared with the substance to be sublimated. Heat is applied from below using cow dung cakes. Its vapors descend into the lower pot's water. It is called adhan patan, downward sublimation. If vapor rise and condense on the upper pot which is cooled with a wet rag, it is called udharva patan, upward sublimation. The direction of the sublimation depends on whether heating is applied to the upper or lower pot. Udharva patan process is showing in this picture. Triyak patan yantra, main vessels, source pot. This is where the substance, often herbal or metallic mixtures, is heated. It generates vapor. Inclined tube, a long tube is fitted obliquely or inclined from the main vessel to another container. This allows the vapor to travel sideways. Hence, Tiryak meaning oblique or slanted. Receiver vessel. The second vessel is the cooling chamber or receiver where the vapor condensed back into liquid form. The vessel is often kept cooling using water or other methods. This is a picture of the Triyak patan yantra. Now, the Dheki yantra, used for the distillation of mercury mixed with other substance. A hole is made slightly below the neck of an earthen pot. One end of a bamboo tube is inserted into this hole. The other end of the bamboo tube is connected to a brass vessel filled with water. The substance containing mercury is placed in the pot and heated. Mercury vapors travel through the bamboo tube and condense in the water filled brass vessel. Thus, it works as horizontal distillation set up to collect purified mercury. This is the picture for the Dheki yantra and here is the bamboo. Vidyadhara yantra, used specifically for the extraction of mercury from cinnabar. Two earthen pots are placed one above the other. The upper pot contains cold water and the lower pot contains cinnabar and is heated from below. As cinnabar heated, mercury vapors rise and condense on the cool surface of the upper pot. The condensed mercury is then collected. Thus, it acts as a vertical condensation set up for mercury extraction via sublimation and cooling. Valuka and Lavana yantra, sand bath for uniform heating over a long time. The long necked bottle containing this substance is buried in sand in an earthen pot up to the 3/4 of its height. The setup is heated from beneath over an extended period until a straw placed on the sand surface catches fire. If a salt is used instead of sand, then it turns into a Lavan yantra. This is the picture for the Valuka and Lavana yantra. Now, Dhupa yantra. The Dhupa yantra is used for fumigation gold or silver leaves with the fume of sulfur or arsenic based substance. It consists of two vessels. The lower vessel contains slanting iron bars just below its mouth on which the metal leaves are placed. Sulfur or arsenic is placed in the lower vessel. A second vessel is inverted over the first as a cover. Upon heating, the fumes rise and react with the metal, completing the fumigation process. So, the Dhup yantra picture is showing the particular picture of the yantra and the process. Nalika yantra and Bhudhara yantra. The Nalika yantra is similar in structure to the Lavana yantra, but it replaced the glass bottle with an iron tube Nalika. This allows for more durable high temperature processing, especially when working with corrosive or reactive substance. The Bhudhara yantra is a simple closed crucible designed to hold a chemical substance securely. It is embedded in a mass of sand and externally heated using cow dung cake, ensuring slow and uniform heat distribution for delicate reactions. Now, additional laboratory apparatus, instruments and vessels. Jaladroni, water containers of different size. So, these are the different instrument and vessels, and the name of the different vessels are also very important, because on the basis of the demand they were made by the potters or metalsmith. First one is Jaladroni, water containers of different size. Bhastrika, two leather bellows attached with bamboo and metal pipe. Kunda, vessels made of gold, iron, copper, bronze, leather and stone. Kandani, small pounder. Pesani, stone grinder. Droni, big cauldron, and Tapat Khalv and Mardaka, a pair of metal mortar and pestle that can be heated on fire. Kalani, sieve. Katratani, utensil made of stone or metal, salaka a type of knife, kundali circular disc to keep vessel on, musa crucible, kupika small pot, kasaka drinking glass, swarp winnowing basket made of bamboo, Shudrashipra small pearl shell, Sudrapa sickles, Palika sharp edge blade, Karnika small knife shaped like an earring, Shakachhedan Shastrak knives used to cut herbs, Kak Varast glass bottles and Mridvarat mud bottles. Now, the materials used for this whole activity, that is mritika soil, tusa paddy husk, karpasa cotton, vanopala cow dung cake, pistaka flour, trividham bheshajam, three types of drugs, dhatujam mineral products, jivajam animal products, mulyam herbal products. Sikitara charcoal, govaram dried cow dung powder, sarkara cane sugar or sitopala candy sugar. So, these are the basic materials which is useful for the alchemist process, alchemical process. So, on the basis of this whole structure, the information regarding the different kind of yantra, information regarding the whole laboratory setup, information regarding the different kind of furnace, crucible is also very important in terms to understand the whole development of alchemy in ancient India. So, on the basis of these description, we can say ancient Indian chemistry and alchemy showcased advanced knowledge of laboratory practice and apparatus. Instruments like the Koshthi yantra and Dola yantra were precisely designed for processes such as distillation and calcination. Laboratories Rasashala functioned as organized center for experimentation, reflecting a blend of scientific precision and spiritual philosophy. This integrated approach highlights the technical sophistication and cultural depth of India's early scientific traditions. So, if you want to enhance your knowledge regarding this particular topic, you can consult these references. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Namaskar.